Hey, it's Rachel, a guilt-free, positive parenting specialist bringing relief to helpless, overwhelmed parents who want to feel good about the way they parent without adding more stress to themselves or their lives. Today I'm going to talk about what to do when your children bicker all the time, when they complain about who got the bigger piece of cake, or they fight over toys, or clothes, or practically anything else that they own. When our kids bicker, we often take sides and tell one child to stop doing what they're doing, or we threaten to take things away if they don't cooperate with each other. So we'll say things like, leave your sister alone, or I'm going to take that iPad from both of you if you don't share it. And of course we do that. Kids bickering is annoying, especially when we're trying to have good time as a family. And we may even worry about our kids' long-term relationship if they fight all the time. But the solutions that we generally use don't actually prevent bickering from happening, because telling our kids what to do and threatening to take things away from them don't actually deal with the fact that siblings bicker for a reason. One common reason that they argue is that they each feel like their sibling is trying to take something from them that's important to them, and that there's nothing they can do about it. So if your son wants the iPad and his sister wants it too, your son feels like his point of view doesn't matter if he can't have it, and there's nothing he can do about it. So he complains, and so does she. And this really isn't that childish. If you think about it, you'd feel pretty bad if someone tried to take something that was important to you, especially if you had no control over it. And you might also complain in your own way. Now, at the same time, siblings do need to learn to live with each other without fighting all the time, right? So the solution is to make deposits by treating them as if their perspectives matter and teaching them how to handle a situation when their perspective conflicts with one another. So here are the tips for depositing into kids' accounts and toolboxes. Tip number 1, which is the depositing in the moment tip. When you're asking your kids to stop fighting, acknowledge each of their perspectives and teach them how to solve the problem of differing perspectives. So this sounds something like, hey, Sammy, you want me to turn the music up, and Johnny, you want me to turn it down. Since we can't do both of those things and both of your feelings matter, how do we solve that problem? Now, it's likely that they won't know how to solve the problem at first, or they wouldn't be fighting, so you might have to walk them through solutions. But once you do that a few times, they're likely to start to come up with their own solutions, as long as they feel like their perspective matters. And I've worked with a lot of kids who are motivated to work through their problems simply because they don't like the solutions their parents come up with. So in this way, you're teaching them that one person is not more important than the other, which would start more fighting, and that they can work things out. Tip number 2, which is the depositing proactively tip, is to treat them as if they each matter on a regular basis. This is so counterintuitive, but kids don't actually want to know that you love them equally. So if your daughter says to you, Mom, do you love me as much as you love my sister? She doesn't actually want you to say, yes, I love you both equally. She wants you to say, I love you because you are the only you I have and the only you I will ever have. And it's funny, when you treat them as equals instead of individuals, they fight even more. So the key to all of this is to parent by deposit. The first way you do this is by respecting their perspective, that they need to know they matter, otherwise they're going to compete with their sibling to prove that they matter. And you're also depositing by giving them practical strategies to find resolution when their needs conflict, because after all, that's going to happen in life. So I hope these 2 tips give you some ideas for how to handle it when your kids keep arguing with each other. If you want information about how to figure out why your child is doing what they're doing, or how to use deposits to get your kids to listen and respect you more, ask me about the Parenting by Deposit program, where I teach you how to raise kids who feel good about themselves and make healthy choices, even if you're not the perfect parent and never will be. I'll see you next time.